My name is Kevin Fernandez, and welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today, we're going to be playing the adventurous globe-trotting game, Ticket to Ride, Rails and Sails. This 2 to 5 player game designed by Alan R. Moon and published by Days of Wonder. Now, I want to point this out. Normally, what I do is give you a little story or a remix that helps you get ready and pumped up for this game, but this one I have to, unfortunately, do a little bit of a cautionary warning. Now, I'm not saying in any way that I don't want you to watch this video. I do. I just want to point out that this Ticket to Ride is the most advanced map that Days of Wonder has created, that they published, I guess I should say. Alan is the one who created it. So this is his magnum opus, his, big, tough one to do. Once again, I'm not saying, don't play this game. I'm just saying, if this seems like a game for you, because it's a pretty thick box, I know you might not be able to tell it from it's just facing forward, but it's a very thick box. It comes with a lot of components. There's a lot of strategy to it, and so it might get a little muddled and complex as we move forward. If you don't think that this game is right for you, we do have the original US map, which I will leave in the link in this video throughout the whole video, so you can click there, go there whenever you want. And I'll also leave a link in the description below, so you can go there whenever you want. You can check out our How to Play video on that one, which is the original map for Ticket to Ride. And so therefore it's a lot more simplified, it's a lot more easier to follow. And then when you're done and you think, okay, well that was a little too basic, I need something a lot more advanced, then you can come back to this video and and you can learn how to play this Ticket to Ride game. However, if you just want to watch this video to see what it's like and see if this truly is a game for you, let's go to the table as I teach you how to play Ticket to Ride, Rails and Sails. Place the game board in the center of the table. Travel cards are divided into 2 separate decks by type, the train deck and the ship deck. Shuffle the train cards and ship cards separately. Deal 3 train cards and 7 ship cards to each player for their starting hand. Flip 3 cards from each deck face up, and we'll put these off camera. Deal each player 5 tickets. Each player must keep at least 3 of these tickets. Any tickets not kept are placed face down at the bottom of the ticket deck. Each player receives 25 trains and 50 ships of the same color. After they have chosen which tickets to keep, a player must decide on the assortment of 60 pieces to keep in their supply. A player can choose any combination of their pieces that adds up to 60. The extra pieces are returned to the box. Players choose their assortment secretly and reveal them simultaneously. When every player has made their final decision, if one or more players are playing this map for the first time, it is recommended that all players start with an assortment of 20 trains and 40 ships. There is no way for any player to have more than 25 trains or 50 ships on this map. Each player receives 3 harbors of the matching color of their choice. And that completes the setup. You're now ready to buy your tickets. To take travel cards, the player may add up to 2 cards in their hand. Either of these cards can be taken from the 6 face-up cards next to the board, which is, I believe, off camera a little bit, or from the top of the deck. If taking a face-up card, the player must immediately replace it with a new card from either deck. So it could be boats or trains. In this case, I took trains. So during the game, the 6 places of cards could be all train cards, all ship cards, 3 of each, 2 of each, 2 of one type, and 4 of the other, or 1 of the one type and 5 of the other. If the player chooses a wild card, It is the only travel card that they take this turn if at any time 3 of the 6 face-up travel cards are wild cards. All 6 cards are immediately discarded to their respective discard piles, and you refill it with 6 brand new, 3 from each deck, or mix and match like I said previously, to replace them. A player may have any number of cards in their hand at one time. When a travel deck runs out, shuffle the cards in the discard pile and place them face down to create a new deck. Be sure to shuffle the cards thoroughly since all cards have been discarded in sets. In the rare case that there are no cards left in the deck and no cards in either discard pile to shuffle and create a new deck, a player will not be able to draw travel cards. They must choose to do one of the other actions instead. And this is a very, very rare case. I want to point this out. Don't worry about it that much. Wild cards are a specific type of train card. They can be played with any set of travel cards when claiming a route. So, boats or trains. That's why there's a boat and a train on the card. If a player takes a face-up wild card while taking travel cards, it is the only card they take that turn. However, if a player is lucky enough to get a wild card from the top of the deck in a blind draw, it still counts as a single card, and they may still take a total of 2 cards that turn. Note, wild cards can also be used for harbors, but we'll talk about that later. Routes with rectangular spaces are train routes, and they can only be used by trains. Routes with an oval right here are boat routes and can only be used by boats. To claim a route, a player must play a number of cards from their hand equal to the number of spaces in their route. So, I have 2 cards right here, a wild and a red. I can now place 2 train cars right there because I have those 2. I then discard the 2 cards I just used in a discard pile. They must match the route's transportation type. Most routes require a specific color. Gray routes, which is right here, can be claimed by using cards in any one color of the required type. But they all must be either wilds or the same color. So you have to use all reds, all whites, all pinks. You can use wilds to substitute, but you can't use like yellow, red, blue. Note, many ship cards are double ships. Claiming a route with these cards, like this is a double ship card. You can place up to 2 ships per double. So I can take one of my ships and place it right here, because it is a green card, but it's a double. There aren't a 2 green space. When a route is claimed, the player places one of their plastic trains or ships in either of the route spaces. Then all cards played to claim the route are discarded, like I showed previously, and the player immediately updates their score by moving their scoring marker along the score track equal to the number of spaces indicated by the route scoring table down here. So, according to the route scoring, we placed 2 trains, which is 2 points, and a ship, which is 1 point, so that equals to 3. A player can claim any open route on the board. They are not required to connect to any of their already claimed routes. A player can claim a maximum of only 1 route on their turn. So what we did was just a demonstration. You cannot play train cards, claim a train route, and then play a boat card and claim boat routes. You have to claim either a boat route or a train route to do that. Some train routes are marked with a special pair symbol, indicating that this route covers very difficult terrain. To place a train on a pair space, you need 2 train cards of the same color instead of one. You can use any color, and you do not have to use the same color. So, for example, I can use this yellow and wild card to place a train here, and I can use these two white cards, discard them, and then place a train here to fully claim that route. Some cities are connected by two parallel routes. Each player cannot claim more than one route in a double route. So this was two red. If I used the two white to claim this route, I can't just place my trains right there, as this is an illegal move. Note, in a 2 or 3 player game, only one of the two routes in a double route can be claimed. Once one of the two routes have been claimed, the other route is unavailable for the rest of the game. So since I claimed this route right here, Jordan cannot claim the one next to it. The same thing if I have a red card right here, I can claim this red route right here, but Jordan cannot claim the black one right next to it. A player that can use their turn to draw additional tickets. To do so, draw 4 tickets from the top of the ticket deck. If there are less than 4 tickets left in the deck, the player draws the remaining cards. A player drawing tickets must keep at least one of them, but may keep 2, 3, or all 4. Any drawn ticket not kept must be placed back in the bottom of the ticket deck. Tickets that a player draws and does not immediately discard must be kept until the end of the game and cannot be discarded during a later ticket draw. The cities listed on a ticket represent travel goals for the player, who gains or loses points depending on whether their tickets were completed at the end of the game. If a player has connected the city shown on one of their tickets with a continuous path of plastic pieces in their color, they gain points equal to the ticket's point value. If they have failed to connect the city shown, they lose points equal to the ticket's point value. So, if you manage to connect this route, you get 25 points. But if you don't by the end of the game, you lose 25 points. Tickets are kept face down and secret from other players during the game, and are only revealed at the end of the game during final scoring. There is no limit to the number of tickets a player can have during the game. Important note, on the world map, the western edge of the map, which I won't be able to show you on this, but I'll point out where it is. So at the borders here, the edge of the map connects, the eastern part connects to the western part and vice versa, just in case I pointed out the wrong side, with the little arrows at the edges, pointing to the sides indicating which routes connect to which cities. There are 8 tour tickets, each which show more than 2 cities. If a player completes the ticket with the connect route in the exact order, they gain points equal to the higher value shown in the bottom left corner. If a player completes the ticket but cannot trace the route exactly as shown on the card, they gain points equal to the lower value shown on the bottom left corner. So, if they manage to complete it 100%, you get 30 points. But if you can complete it but not 100%, then you only get 20 points. And if the player fails to complete the ticket, they lose points equal to the value shown in the bottom right corner, which is 36 points. So if you're going to take one of these tour tickets, you should make sure you can complete it before you grab it. Harbors can be built only in port cities, right here. Each port city can have only one harbor. A player cannot build a harbor in a port city unless they have at least one claimed route into that city. To build a harbor, a player must play 2 train cards and 2 ship cards. All 4 cards must have the same color and have a harbor symbol. Wild cards can be used to replace any of these cards. So let's say I wanted to build a port harbor here. I can use these 4 pink cards, 2 trains and 2 ships, because they have the harbor symbol. And usually there's water in the card too, so you can, don't really look for that for the ship cards because there's always water in the ship cards, but there's this little anchor that matches. So I can build a harbor right there. Each color has 4 train cards and 4 ship cards with a harbor symbol. At the end of the game, a player gains points to each of their harbors as follows. 20 points if they have completed 1 ticket into a harbor. 30 if they've completed 2 tickets into a harbor, and 40 if they've completed 3 or more tickets into a harbor. I would have 1, so that would be 20 points, which would put me up to 23. Players are not required to build harbors, but for each harbor a player does not build, they lose 4 points at the end of the game. So you got to kind of think of how you want to do that in your strategy. A player uses their turn to exchange pieces. They can exchange any number of plastic pieces from their supply for their color pieces in the box. 1 piece for 1 piece. They add the new pieces to their supply and return the pieces they exchanged back to the box. The player loses 1 point for each piece exchanged. A player can exchange pieces as many times during the game as they want, but only if they have pieces of the desired type. So I can take 5 boats, put them back in the box for 5 trains. Place them in my collection, but I lose 5 points on my score. And only if the desired type of figurines is still available for me to do that. When any one player supplies of plastic pieces contains 6 pieces or fewer, regardless of their type, each player, including that player, gets 2 more turns, after which the game ends and players calculate their final scores. To calculate the final score, you take player's current score and add, subtract points for completed or uncompleted tickets, plus your points for built harbors. Subtract 4 points for each unbuilt harbor, and there's your final score. Now, unlike other Ticket to Ride games in the series, there's no bonus for the longest route or most completed tickets. The player with the highest score wins. And that's all you need to know to play Ticket to Ride, Rails and Sails. If you have any questions about this game, please put them in the comments below and I'll get to them as soon as possible. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to be notified for videos just like this. If you are a big fan of the channel as a whole, consider becoming a Patreon supporter. You can support this channel for as little as $1 a month. Just click on the link below and welcome aboard the team. But if money's a little tight, all you need to do is just spread the word about this channel. That also helps out the channel a lot too. I do have one more Ticket to Ride map, major map, in my collection. It's Ticket to Ride Europe. So if you would like me to teach a how to play video on that, let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know in the comments below who you'd like to host that video, me or Jordan. I know I've been really going after the Ticket to Ride games in this channel, so maybe we want to see Jordan host one at some point. She's nodding in agreement. She's off camera. But, so be on the lookout for the upcoming gameplay video for Rails and Sails, and also possibly the how to play video on the Europe map. But until then, thanks for the views.